Serena.
Yes, I heard that laughter is the best medicine. So I'm gonna share my experience this week. This week, I smile at the little things like a funny joke, a cute puppy, and a beautiful sunset. These give me some vibes like peaceful, and it always makes me smiling. These moments of joy remind me to appreciate the simple things in life and always to look forward to smiling. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. Sometimes it's just the simple things that you have to stop and appreciate. It doesn't always have to be big things. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Yes, Cindy.
Yes. Normally, nothing is as special as to make me smile, except kind of music or peaceful moment or human body chat. But since I'm tutoring GD at my leisure time, the more I smile means the lesser I have to explain them. I mean, I have to. I have to explain them. The knowledge. I mean, the better the knowledge means the more I smile this week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Yes. Hey, Yoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. For me,
Okay.
right? Oh,
Sorry. No, that's
sorry,
okay. That's
you
okay.
first.
Okay, we'll have Hey Yoon share first, and then you can. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
The only thing make me feel happy every day, it's my pet. It's my cat. And yeah, the only when I'm back home, so I see them and like everywhere. So I'm really relieving, and they are very demanding of myself. So they're such a lovely cat for me, and because I am a mommy cat, so when I see them, so I really relieving and take off my stress away because of them. Yeah. Yeah, I think having a cat is such a wonderful. Yeah, I very recommend it.
Yeah. One of my sisters has a cat. She lives on the other side of the world from me, but so I haven't gotten to meet her cat, but she'll send me videos all the time, and it is just so cute. And so yeah, cats are so sweet, and they're like very smart and curious creatures. Yeah, that's great. Hey, you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, help me say your name. Is it Kiwati? Can you tell me how to say your name?
My name is Jodiha.
Oh, I was very wrong. Say it one more time.
Jodiha.
Jodiha.
Yeah, sorry, you can call me. Sorry, you can call me Kodi.
Okay, you'll have to forgive my poor American pronunciation.
Yeah, so this is my first time class, right? So it's a long time I have been speaking English. So because right now, so I'm doing the teachings, so in my community, right? So that's why I really busy, so I have no time to take the class, right? So that's why.
Yeah,
okay, so
no, that's okay.
Okay, so it's for me, right? So everything made me smile. So especially because of my students.
Yes.
Yeah. So so the reason is, so during the class, right? So my students understand easily my lesson, right? I'm so happy. So at the moment, so it is a delight, just a moment for me. Yeah. So right now, right? So it's really close to finish the course, right? So the student can remember everything. So what they learn, so right? So I think it's for me, right? So really, it's a really good feeling at the moment. So I'm so happy. So that made me smile. Yeah.
That's really good.
So that's it.
Go ahead.
So that's all from me.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off. I love that. You know, I'm a teacher. I teach little kids. And so I very much understand when your students finally learn what you're trying to teach them and they get it and it makes sense to them. It's like there's like so much pride in that moment that they've like have grown as humans in that moment because of how you've taught them. And so I very much know that feeling. That's really great. Thank you for sharing. May Thadar King.
Yes, teacher is May Thadar.
May Thadar?
Thadar.
Is that how you say it?
Thadar.
Thadar?
Yeah, never mind. If you can.
I'm so sorry. Oh, you'll just have to say you can't speak Burmese, unfortunately.
Burmese names are difficult to call.
I know. I wish I was better at it. I feel bad every time.
Yeah, for me, I smile whenever I get pocket money from my parents because it's the only one that makes me smile. Because getting pocket money from parents is so enjoyable. Like yesterday, my mom gave me like 10,000 just, so I was very happy and I smiled in the evening and all night. That makes me smile.
Yeah, that's so great. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else like to share? All righty, we'll go ahead and move on. So I found this article about technology. I thought it had some interesting vocabulary. I hope it does anyways. I can't remember what website I got it off of. I probably should have cited the source. The website I found it off of just wasn't set up very well, and so I just copy and pasted it into a Google Docs to make it easier to read. It was like, I can't remember what site it was called, but it had like a bunch of different ESL passages that were advanced. So hopefully there's some interesting vocabulary. It's about technology. It is a little bit long, and I don't want it to feel overwhelming. And so I think what I'll do is we'll just do like one section at a time instead of like the whole passage, because there's 3 different sections. And then like if it gets to be too long, then we'll just get however far we get. But that way it's not like reading 3 pages. That'll be a lot of reading. Anyways, so we'll just read like the first section and then we'll go back paragraph through paragraph and then we can like read the second section. So the first section says, what is technology? Oh guys, this word is hard for me to pronounce. Etymologically, the term technology comes from the combination of these 2 Greek morphemes, techne, meaning art, and logia, meaning study. It refers to the collection of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods or services, or the accomplishment of objectives, such as scientific investigation. The human species' use of technology began with the conversion of natural resources into simple tools. The prehistoric discovery of how to control fire and later agricultural revolution increased the available sources of food. Likewise, the invention of the wheel helped humans to travel in and control their environment. Later, developments in historic times, including the printing press, the telephone, and the internet, have lessened physical barriers to communication and allowed humans to interact freely on a global scale. The steady progress of military technology has brought weapons of ever-increasing destructive power. So we'll pause there. That's only 2 paragraphs, that one's short, but we'll just go back through and we'll look at this first paragraph here for vocabulary. So etymologically, the term technology comes from the combination of these 2 Greek morphemes, techne meaning art, and logia meaning study. It refers to the collection of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods or services or the accomplishment of objectives such as scientific investigation. So are there any words or vocabulary questions in this first paragraph? Serena.
Yes, I want to know what is the meaning of morphemes.
Yes, this is a technical word that people use in language study. I was actually talking about this. I'm taking like a teaching reading class and I had one of my classes today. And so morphemes are like the word parts of words. It's like a technical word that means like the parts of words. So like technology, right? Techne, right, would be the one part of that word, and logi is the other part of that word, and combined together makes technology, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, teacher.
Yes, good question. You wouldn't hear the word morpheme unless it was like an academic setting and you're talking academically about the word parts. It's not a very common word. Anything else?
How about etymology? This one, the first one.
Yeah, I know it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yes, etymologically, it comes from the word etymology, which etymology is the study of words. And so it's specifically kind of those word parts and how the parts of words like prefixes, suffixes, base words, root words, combine together to make meaning and new words, right? All sorts of different words of how those parts of words are combined in English. And so when you study etymology, you're studying those word parts and what they mean to create new words.
Thank you.
So, yeah, and so in this case, it's just saying like, it's creating it like as an adverb, adding the ly at the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? I'd be interested to know personally if you pronounce it processes. I think typically if there's like an S and then an ES, then it like makes the S sound, like processes. But I say processes, and I think that might be like a regional dialect maybe, or maybe a lot of people say that, but like because it's hard to say processes, and so processes is how I say it. I think that that's probably a common way to say it. There's so many S sounds in that word. Were there any other questions? Okay, let's go. I'm going to see if I can't pull this whole thing a little smaller to put it onto one page for y'all. Okay, we'll do the second paragraph. Human species' use of technology began with the conversion of natural resources into simple tools. The prehistoric discovery of how to control fire and the later agricultural revolution increased the available sources of food. Likewise, the invention of the wheel helped humans to travel in and control their environment. Later, developments in historic times, including the printing press, the telephone, and the internet, have lessened physical barriers to communication and allowed humans to interact freely on a global scale. Steady progress of military technology has brought weapons of ever-increasing destructive power. Any questions here?
Conversion.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Conversion means to like change into, or to transform, or to like make different, or yeah. So they like took the natural resources, right, wood, and they converted it, or they changed it into a hammer or whatever, you know, like a tool. Mm-hmm. What else?
A prehistoric, it's like mean before historical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So typically when you hear yes, it means before like history. Like it's referring to like, obviously not to like before time began, but like people use prehistoric and like, you know, when the dinosaurs were on Earth, or you know, cavemen, or that type of thing, like before like oral or written history started.
Can you give some like example to use ever increasing?
Yeah, let me see how they use it in here. Ever increasing, where is it? Here, down here, okay. The steady progress of military technology has brought weapons of ever increasing destruction power. So ever increasing just means that it's more and more and more. It's increasing all of the time. It's getting bigger and bigger. And so my ever increasing workload makes me tired, right? My to-do list never ends. Or my ever increasing garden is producing well. I'm not sure if that one really fits, but like if you were planting a lot of things. My ever increasing, or the books on my bookshelf are ever increasing because I add books. I love books, right? And so it's ever increasing. So those types of things where it's like just getting bigger and bigger, or more and more. Mm-hmm. That was a good question. That was hard for me to think.
Yeah, I want to know half-length meaning.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, half-length.
Half-length?
You mean half lessened?
Oh yeah, half-lessened, yeah.
Oh yes, have lessened. Yes. So to lessen means to make less. Oh, that's not a great definition. I'm sorry. I'm tired. My poor brain. It means to like reduce, to make smaller. That the physical barriers to communication, right? Like in, you know, 50, 70 years ago, we did not have Zoom, maybe not 50, but 100 years ago, we didn't have Zoom, right? And so our ability to communicate would have been impossible, right? But the internet lessened that barrier, or they almost got rid of, like not got rid of because that means that it's totally gone, but they just like reduced that barrier, that there's not as many difficulties to communicate across the world. And so you can lessen, so for example, like I'm going to lessen the difficulty of your math test, or I'm going to lessen the amount of problems you have to solve, or I'm going to lessen your workload so you're not overwhelmed. It's just to like reduce or make easier, or there's not so much difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Is it like an evidence?
Say it one more time.
Half lesson, like if is it similar to evidence?
Evidence?
Yeah.
No, evidence is like proof or data or data. It's like the evidence that something is true. Lesson, let me find a real definition because I'm not doing a good job explaining it. So lesson, lesson, is like a lesson at school, right? You like sit down and you learn a lesson. But that's not what this is referring to. This is referring to like more and less. And so it's saying that there's less of things, but it's the verb form of like making less. In the past is why it says have lessons. That just means in the past is the past participle or whatever it is, the past tense. And so it's just saying that they have lessened, or they have reduced, or they have made smaller, or there's not as many physical barriers, but it's like the action of making it less rather than making it more. Yeah.
So teachers, decrease means the same as lesson.
Decrease, yes. That's a good synonym. Yeah, it says to make or become less, to diminish, to reduce, to minimize. Decrease would work. Yes. Good question. Anything else? Okay. We'll move on. So we haven't read this part yet. We'll go ahead and read through this section and then talk about the vocabulary. It says, the Greeks' view about technology. Technology has been a subject of discussion in philosophy since the Greeks. The Greek philosopher, Democritus, maybe is how you say that, for example, believes that technology is an imitation of nature. House building and weaving were first invented by imitating swallows and spiders building their nests and nets, respectively. Aristotle held the same view, that technology is the consequence of imitation of nature, but he added in his book Physics, Book 2, that generally art in some cases completes what nature cannot bring to a finish. Aristotle also distinguishes between natural things and artifacts. According to Aristotle, the former have their principles of generation and motion inside, whereas the latter, insofar as they are artifacts, are generated only by outward causes. For example, animals, which are natural things, can grow, move, and reproduce. A wooden bed, which is an artifact made by a human, cannot move, grow, or reproduce itself. So we'll look at just this first paragraph here. Technology has been a subject of discussion in philosophy since the Greeks. The Greek philosopher Democritus, for example, believes that technology is an imitation of nature. House building and weaving were first invented by imitating swallows and spiders building their nests and nets, respectively. Any questions in that paragraph there? Yes, Serena.
Yes, I wonder what is philosophy and philosopher?
Yes. Philosophy is like the study of ideas. I don't think that's a great definition. I'm going to look it up. I took a philosophy class. My professor would be so disappointed in me right now. Let me look it up. Philosophy, the study of fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence. So it's an academic discipline, and so a philosopher is someone who studies philosophy. But yeah, so like philosophy is like, you know, they like to argue and debate about like the important things in the world, about like, where did we come from and why are we here? And, you know, what's important in life, and, you know, just about knowledge and reality and our existence here on earth. And, you know, any ideas that exist in the world can, you know, come from philosophy, or philosophy would want to ask questions about it. And part of the basis of philosophy is being able to like argue and create structures of argument and critical thinking to like prove what you believe is true.
Yes,
Yeah.
teacher. So